Howdy y'all, Joe Hills here, recording as I always do in Nashville, Tennessee, and is winter upon us no more? We can leave the snow behind for our beautiful vampire castle thing here. You know, I gotta say, we got a wonderful comment from Tolis MC saying, Joe, stop putting these jack-o'-lanterns on top of pillars. You know, it makes you look silly. All you really need to do is take some of the carpet. Where's the carpet now? Oh, here it is. And just put it directly on top of a torch. You don't need to pillar all the way up. It's a little bit touchy getting it directly on top of the torch like that, because if any part of your little feetsies are, in there, it will throw like throw an error. But like, yeah, literally it just won't let you place the block. So you can't stand like partially over here and place that unless you jump. You got to be, an excellent high jumper in order to accomplish that goal. But anyway, today we are going to be talking a little bit about seasons. Now, I've been thinking about seasons a little bit because, spring is upon us now. And in some churches, they have what's called liturgical seasons. Now, the Catholic Church is like one of the most famous churches in terms of like liturgy and in terms of like being in charge of Rome for a long time. I think basically until Mussolini. I'd have to check that. If you guys want to fact check what happened to the Catholic Church in the 30s and 40s, you could probably do that on Wikipedia. This is not the place for that. But anyway, I've been thinking, like, they had their whole Lenten season going on until Easter, basically. And then all of a sudden, it's Easter time. And, one of the interesting things about the Lenten season is that it is a season of, like, fasting and self-reflection and just kind of, preparing for the, savior of their religion to be killed. And it's kind of a downer, which is why leading up to it, they have this big celebration on Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras before Ash Wednesday, and they celebrate, all the pleasures of life before taking a break from those pleasures for a while. And I just started thinking, like, it's really interesting that we have all of these different, like, seasons now that are brought to us by these, like, greeting card companies or commercial groups. Oh, no. There's fire. There's smoke coming out of the torches under there. I didn't think of that. Maybe that'll just look cool, though. Maybe it'll just look like the ground is bad here. We might have to go back to pumpkins. Anyway, core concept. We've got these seasons that are some good and some bad in this religious calendar. But in like the American calendar, almost every season is like just a party and an excuse to buy stuff. And I was thinking about that in relation to MTV's hit show Daria. Because like a lot of the show Daria involves Daria being dragged to some sort of celebration or another and being like, how are all you people celebrating when all this bad stuff is happening in the world? And the show really kind of emphasizes that nobody besides Daria really feels comfortable acknowledging a lot of that bad stuff, with the exception of her father, who will read about it in the newspaper and then like scream and then like almost have like a heart incident, and then his wife will tell him to calm down. And it's just kind of like, but he never does anything about it. He can't. He's just this guy. I don't even know what his job is. I'm sure you could, in addition to doing research on Mussolini's impact on the church, you are welcome to look up the actual profession of the father in Daria on Wikipedia. I'm sure they have many pages about that. But anyway, there's this whole idea that, like, everybody's always throwing parties for all this stuff, and Daria's just, like, she can't get excited because she feels like nobody ever addresses the bad things in life. And I think it's interesting that the liturgical calendar of the Catholic Church does try to make time for people to think about other people's suffering. And that is valuable in a way that I think maybe our secular or Hallmark calendar has failed to maybe accommodate or recognize. Because, I mean, what are you going to sell more of in a season of fasting? You can't even sell more sackcloth, because I'm pretty sure at some point in the Bible, and no, I don't know where. You can also find that on Wikipedia. I'm pretty sure at one point Jesus says, hey, when you're fasting, don't make a big deal of it and walk around in sackcloth and ashes. So, just kind of a thing. But anyway, there's a whole concept of like ups and downs in the liturgical calendar. And I think that maybe does a better job of acknowledging the full extent of the ups and downs in our own lives. And maybe is something that we have, to some degree, lost or strayed from. And I feel like it's not just on an annual basis either. Like, there are some things that used to be special. And now they're all the time. And if you're not excited about them all the time, people get down on you. Like, oh, hey, there's a new Star Wars movie every year now. Like, if you told me that they were going to do that when I was a kid, I would have been so excited. But it's kind of like eating candy for dinner, where, like, it sounds like, oh, man, I would be so pumped if there was a new Star Wars movie every year. But really, like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. It's like, this is something that was, I don't know, a part of something from the past, and now they're trying to, like, even the prequels, I just didn't engage with them on the same level that I did the original films. And I'm sorry that I'm doing this wide-ranging talk about, comparing the problems of a secular society, abandoning the psychological benefits of things that churches stumbled onto millennia ago. But the problem is, if the churches can't do it anymore, and the government really shouldn't be doing it, okay, well, who's going to step up? Is it going to be Disney's job to make sure that we're occasionally sad on purpose because it's unhealthy to be happy literally all the time? Or at least it's unhealthy to be told that we're expected to be happy all the time? That was one of the big things with Daria, is she resented that people were constantly mad at her or disappointed in her or confused by her for not being constantly happy. And it's just, there's something there that I don't really have fully mentally developed. This is something, I figure if Tollus World MC can leave a comment and tell me, Joe, here's a better way to do your grass in this garden here, maybe you guys can leave some interesting comments on this, because I don't know. I feel like there's just this constant state of excitement that society expects of us that I just can't do it, Like, I want to do work, and I want to be satisfied with my work, but I don't expect to constantly be, like, joyful, excited, happy. And I don't know. I feel like and maybe this is just something I'm fixated on that has no real world application. I'm throwing this out there to you guys because I don't know. Because I would love to hear your thoughts on this. As the sun sets over Castle Ravenloft, we can see how the little pieces of carpet and torches we put in place are coming together. We got some dark splotches. This doesn't look too irregular, though. And it doesn't look too regular, either. I feel like this is a good kind of partially pseudo-random setup here. That looks pretty okay. And we can always come through here and say, Shears, you're taking a back seat to these mushrooms. And then, we can run around and start planting some of these on the mycelium here. I don't know if too much red is a good or bad thing, but, like, with it being a vampire castle, I really feel like more red is better. I want to evoke the idea of blood with this project, and I feel like even though these are generally kind of friendly, upbeat mushrooms, they're ominous in a way. And I just want to embrace that, I think. So we're going to go ahead and place these here. And just kind of do a quick run through. I think that this has come out pretty good. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I have podzol kind of on this side instead of the mycelium. I was kind of playing with the idea that, like, there might be different kinds of decay further or closer away from the castle. But I don't know. We'll mess with that a little bit more. Let's go ahead and give this one more good kind of flyover pass here. Up we go. Now, in the air, the mushrooms definitely seem extra bright in a way the flowers don't. But that does add some variety to it, so maybe we will hold on to those. Anyway, that is another quadrant of our garden knocked out. Thanks again to Tallest World MC for the tip, and I hope you guys leave your comments with your thoughts on cycles of emotion in society. Because, I don't know, I have no idea what to even do about that. Like, is it a problem? I don't know. I mean, it's worth discussing, but I don't know what to do about it or where to go from here. So, until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring. Ah! Mayday, mayday.